Step into the incense and whiskey sanctuary with mindfulness enthusiasts and verified whiskey lovers, Mecca and Ashley, as they discuss all the random topics they love, from mindfulness to memes. This is Ashley.
And this is Mecca.
Mecca, have you heard of Galentine's Day?
I have heard of Galentine's Day, but I don't know exactly what it is.
Okay, so Galentine's Day, to be clear, is not a real holiday. It is not on the national calendar. It's not one of those, you know how they have those grocery store holidays where it's like, it's kiwi fruit month or whatever.
Right. The 30th is croissant day.
Okay, it's croissant day. All right, so let me tell you the background on Galentine's Day. It's a lovely holiday. I have been celebrating it in recent years without even knowing the history of it. Okay. So Galentine's Day started about 10 years ago. It's typically celebrated on February 13th, so Valentine's Day Eve.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a day where you celebrate your friendships, your girls, your girlfriends. And it was created by Leslie from Parks and Recreation, actually.
Girl, bye.
Yes. Okay. So this is when Galentine's Day hit the scene. In 2010, when the second season of Parks and Rec came on, it had an episode called Galentine's Day, where Leslie gathers a group of her closest friends for brunch. And she calls it like a brunch of waffles and love or something like that. I don't even watch Parks and Rec, so
I don't either. Yeah,
I really don't know. So anyway, she said that we're just kicking it breakfast style. We're ladies celebrating ladies, essentially, is what she says in the episode. And so I think it took off from there. And even the Atlantic Monthly, one of my favorite magazines, says that it's such a widely recognized fake holiday that some companies now run Galentine's Day promotions.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, naturally, of course, this would be a holiday.
Like Chicago's sweetest day.
Yes, like Chicago's sweetest day.
You know what's so funny is you're right. This is something that we practice. I mean, I've always done stuff with my girlfriends. It could either be on Valentine's Day though, or if I was, with somebody, then it would be like around that time frame, or we exchange gifts still. So, okay, so they put a name to something that was already kind of going on.
Yeah, Galentine's Day.
Okay,
Love Day. Yeah. So I like it conceptually. I have one of my best friends. Shout out to you know who you are. One of my sister friends. Her birthday is actually on Valentine's Day.
Oh, cute.
And she always says like, if my friends are single that year, it's gonna be a good birthday. If my friends are coupled that year,
they're gonna be turned up, right?
But I think that this Galentine's Day concept is wonderful in that, I mean, separate of a birthday, separate of Valentine's Day, an opportunity for you to like really celebrate your girlfriends. Because we know that those are some of the most treasured and intimate relationships that we have, right, with our girls.
Yes.
So I'm here for it, and we'll continue to celebrate it, even though it's a fake holiday.
That's one fake holiday that I can actually get on board with.
Yeah.
I love to send, and I hadn't done this in a while just because of life, but I feel like this year I can totally do it. Like I always love sending Valentine's Day cards to my friends. Cause I love physically getting mail. So
yeah. Oh, I got your birthday card. It is amazing.
You did? Okay.
Yes, it's amazing. I loved it. And you have wonderful penmanship, by the way. But anyway, I digress. Valentine's Day cards.
Well, this is the thing. I'll share this little secret.
Don't tell.
I'm not gonna share the secret, but the bottom line is I love to send mail and I love to receive it. And Valentine's Day is always one of those unexpected, like you never know who's gonna send you a card.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you one time, this was years ago, I went on this like trip to like South Africa. And one of the ladies that went on this trip with us that we met there, I can't remember how she got my address, but I tell you, this trip was in December. that February, I got this random card. I mean, I got quite a few cards, but I got a random card from her, but it was so sweet. And it was just like, oh my God, I forgot how much I love to get an unexpected Valentine's Day card.
Aww.
And so I think that I want to definitely implement that in my life again, because I love to send a card or a note to somebody. So I'll try to keep that up. But I think Galentine's Day is definitely something I can sign up for. I think it's definitely like a celebration of love, celebration of your friends.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I think also in these pandemic times, having something to celebrate and look forward to that brings us together, whether it be virtually or not, I think is, or through mail, old school, I think is like a really wonderful thought. I'm actually planning to do, there's a company that does storytelling here in Chicago. I'm planning on doing their Galentine's Day event. It's supposed to be like a bunch of, I'll send you the info, a bunch of women, you know, telling stories of their female friendships.
Oh my God. Yes, send me that. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, Galentine's Day will be in full effect. They also do this catering situation. So for anybody looking for ideas with your Galentines, maybe it'd be a nice thing to, you know, watch a Netflix movie and all eat the same food virtually so we can pretend like we're together, you know, grab your Galentine.
And there's so many, there's like so many apps now where it's kind of like a viewing party where everyone can be watching the same movie or show all at the same time. Not like, you know, somebody's 5 minutes ahead or 30 minutes ahead. Like there's a way.
Oh yeah, that's the worst too. When you can like hear their TV and it's like, but my TV's not saying that yet. And can you turn down your volume? But I still need to hear you if you respond. Yeah, that's the worst.
I know. So
that was my Christmas Eve because I could barely get my family to get it together on the Zoom and it was a lot.
Well, we got to get real creative, and I'm down for that. Galentines.
Galentine.
Speaking of Galentine and friendships and celebration of friendships, you know, Ashley, I want to chat with you about adult friendships. Like, you know, friendships that you've had for years and now you guys are adults, and is that friendship still serving you? And then also like meeting new friends as an adult. Sometimes people say it's hard to meet new friends as an adult. Or, you know, they value their friends as an adult because those mean a little bit different from the childhood friendships. So it's this, you know, a gamut of things. I want to kind of chat with you about that.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting topic, and actually something I've been thinking about recently. I have very few, but I have a couple of good friends that I have been very close with since like junior year of high school. And none of it, well, not all of us went to the same high school together. But we have lived in different states. We have lived in the same states. We have moved into different states. We have attended each other's weddings and family reunions and so on and so forth. And those friendships have continued into our adult years, and their partners and spouses have become my friends as well. And those are really nice. And then I have certain friendships that they never really made it. It's like the college years, or they definitely haven't made it since high school, but didn't make it past the college years. And then I have others that I've made friends with as recently as last year, actually. And so I think for me, it has been about where I am in my life. I'm also a person that is, I like to be constantly growing and changing and exploring new things. And then that brings different people into my life.
Right.
And so I think for me and maybe some other people, part of the friendship experience is also kind of about where you are in your life and what influences you're around. Those are my thoughts on it.
No, yeah, those are all great points. I think I share some of the same sentiments. Like, you know, I have some friends that I have known since junior high to now. We're still cool. Not as close as we were in high school, but this is still someone that we can pick up the phone and just pick up, and there's no like awkwardness to it.
Oh, I love that.
And we still kind of keep in touch, like, you know, like, hey, happy birthday, what's going on with the kids, you know, stuff like that. If some big event ever happened, then there would probably be an invite. but we don't like talk on a regular basis. And it's interesting because you think that sometimes like those childhood friends, they would like kind of, some of them might die off because, two people are growing and your needs as a child and as when you were younger, those friendships may not serve you as an adult, but some of them have, which I think is pretty cool. And then, I think about as I've lived in different cities. And so some friends serve the purpose for right then at that moment of my life. And I think that kind of goes with a lot of things. You have some friendships that are like temporary, some are seasonal, and some are evergreen. And so I think that I would say the friends I've had in my life definitely have served the purpose for me and them at that point in my life. And some have stayed and some kind of died off. For me, I'm the only child. I grew up the only child. So it was always really important for me to have great friendships.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I think as I got older, I really stopped, when you're younger, you're like, oh, that's my best friend. That's my best friend. But as you get older, that term means so many different things, right?
It's so true.
Right?
Yes.
So, it's so different because it's kind of like you have a friend that maybe you share. I was just talking to somebody about this. You share like commonality with, right? Maybe you guys always go to the gym together. You guys talk about workout stuff, but that may not be the friend that you guys are talking about love life stuff. Then there's friends that like they know everything that's going on with your love life, and maybe they don't know anything that's going on with your like business career life, right?
Yeah.
And then you have some friends that know the gamut of everything that's going on, right?
Yeah.
Work, love, personal, everything.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things that you just gotta. It took a long time, but it kind of had to figure out for me. Like everyone has a place, right? And I'm sure I have a place in everyone, right? And then some friends are just like, once you kind of know what the boundary is and what the friendship is, you go into it, a lot better than thinking, oh my God, this is my best friend. And then that person may disappoint you because you thought they would do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But you
have
gave
let
them
go of
this
those
title that they didn't even ask for nor they deserve. And it shouldn't have worked out like that. So I think, as you get older, you kind of see it. Go ahead. I think you're going to make a point. Sorry.
No, I was going to say because you have then set them up with these expectations and assumptions, and it's expectations and assumptions that will get us every time.
Yep.
Because you have assigned a role in your mind to that person, and it's not necessarily reciprocated in their mind.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's funny because even as an adult, I feel like Mecca at this age, is completely different than Mecca, even 5 years ago, even 7 years ago, 10 years ago. So it's one of those things that like, I feel like the friendships that I've grown to, they match wherever I am in life. They match the level that I am in, which is very important. And sometimes you just have to be open to that. I think that too open. I know you'll meet some people's like, oh, I'm all subscribed up. I talked to someone the other day. She said, I have a really good core of friends, and I'm just not that interested in meeting anyone new.
Oh, and so she's team no new friends. Like
she's
that,
team no new friends.
That Jake line, no new friends.
Right, okay. No new friends. And it was one of those things that like, not in a bad way, but more like, I don't want to gain it. And I think under the pretense, am I saying it right? Pretense of what was going on. She was like, maybe not. I'm good with my core group right here. Yeah. But I feel like it's also okay to be, when people have these new lifetime events, right? You get married. Your single friends may not be your only friends anymore, right? You're going to meet other married people. So it's going to be one of those things that as your life progresses, there's going to be these sets of friends that match that part of you, right? Yeah. So I think it's nice to at least stay open to it. And I'm not going to ever say no new friends. Because I also feel like your friends are like your chosen family. Like,
I agree with that.
I
agree with that.
Yeah, just like your chosen family.
I have a friend. It's weird to call her a friend, but I will. I have a friend. This person and I were inseparable in 5th grade, like from 5th grade through maybe my sophomore year of high school. And somewhere along the lines in high school, we had what I'll characterize as a falling out. Not quite sure what really started it. but we essentially decided we wanted to go our separate ways and not spend as much of our time or any of our time together anymore, essentially. And that really hurt me. That was like the biggest breakup. I don't care. The biggest maybe second biggest breakup of my life.
Yes.
Of my life, because that, like, for it to have maintained or held space, such an intimate space with someone for so long in my life, right? You think about it, from fifth grade. So that's like what, age 12 through like age 16, 17, like those are formative years.
Yeah.
And it's like, we spent time with each other's families. We went on vacations with each other's families. We planned like dances together, you know, just like so much experience together. And we kind of went our separate ways, and we've had these moments that like actually keep happening, even as recently as like a couple weeks ago. We just keep having these moments. We live in completely different states, don't know the intimate details of each other's lives, but somehow still manage to like pop back in. I remember graduation day, I was a crying mess, and she like came and like hugged me and held me, and I was like, wait, we're not friends anymore. What's happening? I'm confused.
You did that right then and there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember in college, I went to a different college in a different city, and I came back in town, and we all went to a party together, and it was like, are we like, this is cool. Like, we're just hanging out, whatever.
Yeah.
Went to a party together. I was around her sorority sisters, etc. A few years down the road, she's like visiting Chicago for work. And I'm like, hey, I live here. Like, let's meet up, whatever. I get married. She congratulates me a few years later. She gets married. I send her a wedding gift. And even as recently as a few weeks ago, she posted something on Instagram, and I messaged her about it. And I was like, yeah, I remember in the fifth grade, you said this. And she was like, I don't even remember that. How do you remember? How do you remember that?
I love it.
And she's like, I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to get in touch with my inner child. And like, you're helping me remember something that I've like never been able to recall myself. And I'm like, yeah, I remember clear as day. Like, you said this and both this happened or whatever. And she was like, this is really helping me right now. And so I think there's a benefit to having, when you can have them, when it does happen, friendships that last that period of time. But in this situation, we don't talk to each other daily, right? We don't have close contact about what's going on in each other's day-to-day lives, but we pop in and out, and we still care about each other a lot.
Yeah, you guys still care about each other.
And I think that that's like really great and really cool. So, you know, I think it's important to realize that you can miss the friendship and elements of the friendship and miss the person, but not ever necessarily have to return back to the friendship as it was. Yeah.
No, I have a few friends like that too. Yeah, which is interesting. You still stay connected, you know, randomly, you know, a couple times out of years, you guys still stay connected. And something that you said is two things I wanted to say. The one thing about having friends, like longevity friends, they're almost like your archives. Like, they remember stuff that you can't remember. And then it just happened to me just a few minutes ago. A friend called and it was like, remember when you said this? And I just like burst out laughing. And I was like, I did some ignorant shit. So it was like one of those things that they are the timekeepers. I have my really great friend. She remembers everything. Like, it's scary. She remembers everything. And so, you know, I can always, like, it's almost like going down a Rolodex. Okay, remember this date and this year? What happened? Or she may throw out a picture for it. Like, oh, remember this? I'm like, girl.
Oh my God.
I love that. You have that.
That's a good friend to have. That's a good friend to have.
She's a great friend.
That's like a scrapbook friend right there.
right. You got all this.
Your walking scrapbook.
I always call her that. I was like, you like a walking scrapbook. You be having everything.
Reminded me of. No, let me tell you when this like really broke down for me though. This whole concept of like having different friends at different points in your life. Mm-hmm. I think I grew up hearing that from my mom and from like other people or what have you, and not really understanding what that meant when I was younger, right? Like the whole reason, season, etc. Like, I did not get that.
Yeah.
When it really came together for me was at my bachelorette party, ironically. Like, was it 7 years ago?
Weddings, bachelorette parties, that hits the fan every time.
It does, every time. So what happened, I have different groups of friends, right, that have come together, and I was just really happy of how these different groups of friends from different parts of my life have come, they get along beautifully. They're like they're just there to have a good time. They're enjoying each other. They're still friends now. Like they're celebrating their kids' birthdays, and it's amazing to me. But it really came together for me because we were drinking. Obviously, it's a bachelorette party, and somebody said, "Let's play a game. Let's play a drinking game and tell all the random stuff about Ashley that we know." Like kind of like a, like we're gonna spill the beans. Yeah.
Okay.
And the funny thing was, I was like, see, I already know that this is gonna be the most boring game like this, because none of the stuff that I did that I would want somebody to keep a secret, none of y'all were around for it. Like I have the select few, I know exactly who they are. There's about 2 of them, maybe 3, that would be like, I got all the stories, and none of them were there, and I'm not friends with any of them.
Right. I get it.
That's when it really came together to me. I was like, oh, so that was a phase where I was doing stuff I had no business doing, out of character, and that's why none of them are still a part of my life.
That's hilarious. But yeah, that's a good point. And one thing I want to say is, like, even like longevity friends, sometimes you said this, like you think, okay, we've been friends since elementary, 5th grade, whatever. And you're like, oh, this is going to be my friend forever.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work out that way. It's so heartbreaking because you're vulnerable around this person. They know everything about you and vice versa. And it's just like this kindred spirit that you feel like, right?
Yeah.
And so when it ends, it's devastating. But sometimes you have these relationships that people just stay on, like, oh, that's been my friend for 20 years. But like, have y'all been knowing each other and y'all been friends for 20 years? Or y'all just been like, y'all was friends the first 5 or 10, and now the last 10, y'all just holding on.
You just holding on to the friendship.
You just holding on to that longevity.
In economics, that's called a sunken cost, y'all. In economics, you don't hold on to an investment because of how much you put into it already. If it's not benefiting you now, you gotta let it go.
Wait, say it again. Say it one more time.
In economics, a sunken cost is something that's like, you no longer benefit from it. So you don't hold on to that investment or that strategy because it's no longer benefiting you. It doesn't matter how much money you put into it or how much effort or time or what. Now I'm extrapolating, but it doesn't really matter how much you put into it. You have to let it go because it no longer serves you. And so
that's the whole word right there.
There you go. Boom. Economic cost.
Okay, Ashley. Okay, I like that. And it is no fault of that investment. It's just something that didn't work out, and it's not serving its purpose anymore.
Right, and you don't hold on to it just because of the history. Yeah, and I know several people who hold on to friendships because of, well, I knew them since I was a kid, or our parents were friends, and they have no interest in talking to those people. Like keeping up with them.
No more. And it's funny. It's just like, as a culture, we feel like we have to stick with each other because they're childhood friends, and we like wear longevity like a badge of honor, whether or not it's toxic or not. Like, oh, I've been knowing them for 20 years, 15 years, but like, is it a good friendship? So,
That's a fair point.
Yeah. So I think that I don't know. I think it's one of those things that, you have friends in every different season of your life. And I think it's important. There's been studies out there that show that friendships can aid in longevity in life, can aid in your health of your life, right?
Oh, yeah. And your quality of life.
And your quality of life. So just making sure that you like keep good friends around, right? The same way you in your refrigerator, you don't have any rotten fruit or rotten meat. Keep good, clean, not good, clean, but good friends that's like nourishing you and that you're nourishing them. So
absolutely. And sometimes we got to check ourselves though, because sometimes we need to experience some growth and evolution too. It's not always the friend. So
that goes back and forth. Not always the friend. I think even as your own person, like if you feel like you're being a rotten person or you're being like, super selfish, you got to check yourself. Like, is there something about me that's taken away from them? And then being okay to either fix it or let it go. And like, okay, I learned from that. I know what to do next time.
Yeah. So you need to be thinking about your friendship with yourself.
Yeah. Friendship with yourself. Right.
Yeah. I love that.
Because you don't have a good friendship with yourself. You absolutely cannot have a good friendship with anyone else.
Pearls of wisdom. That's it right there.
Absolutely. So Ashley, speaking of, letting go of things that doesn't serve you anymore and bringing all the things that do serve you, you know what? Today's a full moon. It's the first
Yes.
full moon of 2021, the first of 11. Yeah. First of
Okay.
12. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So this full moon is pretty interesting because, it's the first one of the year. It's the wolf moon. And it's also like, it's always a full moon is always a time to really release what you want to let go and then bring in what you want. Talk about what you want. And so what's interesting about the full moon that I always try to say is that, we wait to January and have like these resolutions or our intentions on what we want to do for the year. But
Yeah.
on the moon cycle, this is something that you can practice every 30 days, right? It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be like the whole year. So for the month of January, this is what I want to bring in and take out. For February, this is what I want to bring in and take out. And it's something that we can always kind of go to kind of keep ourselves even accountable for what we're doing, right?
I like that idea.
So speaking of that, even though today is a full moon, when this airs, it's going to be right around Valentine's Day.
Hey.
So it's going to be one of those things like, what are you going to be doing? Who you loving? Who you want to be hugging? So I don't know where that
My
just
couch.
where did that just come from?
Because you got that Valentine's Day spirit on you.
This is the Valentine's Day spirit. So, okay. So what I do want to say is this. Okay. So this being a full moon, and also when this airs, it's going to be more like in the love area, right? I say the love area because it's going to be like around, Valentine's Day. I was about to say the 4th of July. Valentine's Day. So some of the things that you can kind of do to like show yourself self-love. And
Yes.
it's kind of one of those things. I don't want to just put out like take a bath and do all these things. There's things that you can do that have nothing to do with being pretty and feeling good to be self-love. So do some things that I kind of like to say because say you have a full moon ritual or a self-love ritual, and that ritual can be anything that you kind of create. It's always nice to do it on a full moon because you're indicating to the universe what I want to bring in, but feel free to do this at any point. So one thing I would say, I have a list, and I'll also include it on the on our Instagram, but you can do a ceremony where you're kind of like deciding what kind of love you want to bring in and what do you feel like it's not serving you, right? And when I say love you want to bring in, I don't necessarily mean romantic love, but like how you showing up as you. How are you showing up as Ashley? How are you showing up as Mecca? Like, what do you want to bring every time you walk into a room or walk into a space? Like, how do you want people to feel?
Okay.
So kind of like thinking of it in that terms, and then what is the things that you don't want them to feel like? I'll give you an example. When I walk into a room, I want people to be like, oh my God, the energy just shifted and it was like so light and airy. And when I say light and airy, meaning it's not dense. So like, Mecca brings great energy. Or Ashley, we love when she smiles because we know it's going to be a good day. And what you don't want to bring in is if you're having a bad day and you kind of like, on some funk attitude, you don't want to bring that in. You want to be able to like knock that off before you enter any space. I'm talking about a phone call, a Zoom, anything, still virtually as well. Because it can translate in text, it can translate in Zoom, it can translate over the phone. And so one of the things that you can kind of do is like, you can write out what you want to bring into a situation, any situation. And then you can write it on a piece of paper. Sometimes people use like the earth elements. Like you can even like get a leaf from outside and like write on it. You have a candle going and a bowl of water or like some type of vessel that has water in it. So write now what you want to release. And then, look at it, kind of meditate on it, and then burn it with the same candle that you have, and then like lightly put it in the glass bowl or whatever water vessel you have, and that's like your releasing of what you want to not bring into a space, but also what you want to bring into a space. So it's kind of like you have two lists on that same piece of paper. So that's kind of like a burn and release. And then you can also write out what you want to also attract into your life, right? So that's kind of like a self-love. Like, what do you want to attract into your life? It could be a loving relationship. It could be with someone you're already in a relationship. Like, I want my mate to do these things more, or I want my friends to do X, Y, and Z, or I want to do this more. Like, I think I said in the last episode or last segment, I want to start writing more letters again. I want to start doing more cards. So that's something I want to add into like my self-love kind of piece, right? So you can write out those kind of things. You can also, like, it could be as simple as cleaning out your closet. We all like to go into a room and see a really nice closet. It keeps us organized. Maybe it's a pantry drawer. Maybe it's just you like creating some type of organization into your life, or cleaning off your work desk. Something that's going to make you feel like you're productive and that you can like bring clarity to your life.
Yeah.
So those are like super simple things. Of course, you can go into one of those. Speaking of like letters, one of the things I think is really fun, and you can find one of these like letter writing companies online, or you can do it yourself, is like write yourself like a love letter and just write all the things that you love about yourself, just kind of like you're complimenting yourself, and mail it back to yourself. So you'll write it, and you might get it. Well, I shouldn't say this because the mail is kind of slow now, but you could get it in like 2 weeks. And
I'm laughing at you right now. The mail is kind of slow right now.
I know. Or you know what else you can do? You can email it and then schedule the email for 2 weeks.
That's the 2021 right there. Yes.
And then that way you're like, oh my God, man, Ashley, I'm the bomb. I say all the nice things about myself. You can do that. You can also
send yourself some flowers and write a note to yourself on the card.
Yes, you can do all those
something pretty to look at.
You can do all of those things. It's just like little stuff. And I mean, and I guess I'm trying to say, like, there's no wrong way to show yourself love. There's no like, let me light this candle, say these intentions, and then it happens. And some people are like, you can create an intention candle, from any candle that you have, right? Like, I want this particular candle to be like my candle that I speak to about like loving myself or showing love to other people. And if you set the intention, then that's kind of what happens, right? So people like, oh, does this really happen? Does it not? If you believe, yes. If you don't believe, no. It's as simple as that. So like, it's kind of like, you speak what you want into existence. So I don't know. Those are some like self-love rituals. And I try to go outside of a bath and cooking yourself a meal, because I mean, me cleaning out my closet is self-love.
Oh, that's real.
I need to be able to see what's going on. Do I need to
get that Marie Kondo in it?
Do I need to add some pieces to it? Like, that's love.
That's
bookshelf
right,
cleared. So yeah. There you go. You'll find some more ideas on our IG as well. And then let us know what you guys do for self-love. Like, let us know what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Catch us next time on Incense and Whiskey.
In the meantime, take a breath, have a sip,